had been waiting for us for weeks prior to our arrival. And as soon as we walked in, the kids just exploded with joy and happiness, and they were high-fiving us, giving us hugs. It was just surreal. You know, we could not really communicate because most of us coaches did not speak Spanish and the kids didn't understand English, but we communicated in the universal language of love. It was very powerful, touching, emotional, but at the same time heartbreaking experience. Because all those kids come from poor families, and the majority of them come from families with drug-addicted and alcoholic parents, where physical, emotional, and sometimes even sexual abuse are a common practice. All those kids were wearing beautiful white and navy blue uniforms, and they all looked gorgeous. It was a primary school, it was 6, 7 years old, but we were told that that was their best outfit they had. But despite all of that, despite the destitute conditions and being poor on the outside, they were so rich on the inside. They had so much love and joy to give. It was incredible. Part of that project was to paint the school. And even though, in my opinion, the entire building had to be demolished and built anew to make an improvement, but a cosmetic touch-up did make some changes. And it was absolutely priceless to watch kids' reaction to their school. And I'll never forget the next moment, a girl came to me from behind, and she was about 6, 7 years old. Her name was Isabella. She had beautiful dark eyes, a beautiful smile, and she just hugged me, which seemed like a forever hug. I had to fight so hard not to lose it at that moment. The next moment, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a bracelet and gave it to me. It was a handmade bracelet with small pearl-like beads. And then she started saying something in Spanish, which I assumed was apparently a story of how she made that bracelet and how excited she was to give it to me because she was beaming with joy. And I was speechless. Not that I could say anything, you know, I didn't speak Spanish, but all I could say was, "Qué lindo, muchas gracias." And I hugged her again, and I still have that bracelet here with me. And I carry it around as a reminder of that significant moment. That was the moment when I experienced significance. As John Maxwell said, once you taste significance, success will never satisfy you. Speaking internationally was a great privilege, but connecting with that little girl was something completely different, at a different level. It was something special. And you know, I was thinking that we were not paid to be at that school. We donated our time and efforts to help. So we gave, but what we receive in return, and especially me, I was the lucky one, I got the bracelet, was just incredible. And that's when I realized that we always receive when we give. Now, it might not come back right away. It might not come back from the same source, but we always receive in life when we give. It's just the way life works. It's like breathing. You breathe in and you breathe out. You can't just breathe in and not breathe out, and you can't just breathe out and not breathe in. It's just the way. It's that process, two-way process, supports life in our body, and giving and receiving provides significance in our life. I love the way Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by getting. but we make a life by giving. I want you to think about what it means to you and how your business can thrive if you were to operate from that perspective of go giving. And I promise you, you will get so much more in return if you come from that place of love and generosity. Beyond your expectations, beyond your imaginations, because you always receive what you give. Now, the interesting thing is, you can't give what you don't have, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. Your cup needs to be full in order to pour and give to other people. So the third lesson along this significant journey I learned is we need to surround ourselves with people who lift us up, who inspire us and encourage us to live to our potential. Let me share a story with you. When I was at school in Ukraine, I wasn't the smartest or the brightest student. I was pretty slow. And I was particularly struggling with written assignments. And the irony was that I really enjoyed writing, but for some reason it didn't like me. Miss Koreyko, our Ukrainian teacher, she was always giving me the lowest grades, which was frustrating me. But I remember one day she gave us an assignment to read a story and to write an essay on it. And I don't remember what the story was about, but I really enjoyed reading and writing. And I poured my heart into it. I did my absolute best. But for the next class, Miss Koreyko asked me, she said, Anna, did you even read the story? And I said, of course I read the story. I really enjoyed it. She said, well, it doesn't show me this way. You know, I think you just can't express yourself. I think writing isn't for you. And I felt crushed. I developed that belief that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough at writing. And I carried that belief around me for years. When I moved to America, I was eager to learn the English language. And I was proactive, action taker. So I signed up for a lot of writing and speaking classes at Broward College in Florida. And again, I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed studying. But I was so reluctant and so uneasy to submit the first written assignment because I was sure, I couldn't write in my native language, let alone the English language. But again, I did my best and I submitted that paper, and for the next class, my heart, as you probably may imagine, was jumping off the chest when the results were ready. I was so anxious and nervous to learn my score. And Mr. Blanco, my American professor of the English language, he said, Anna, can I have your permission to show your essay to other students? Oh my God, my heart dropped. It was that bad that he wants to show it to other people how not to write. I felt so embarrassed. But the next moment he smiled and handed me my paper and said, excellent work. What? Excellent work? I looked at my paper and I could not believe. I got, you ready? 100 out of 100. What? That event changed my entire perspective on how I viewed myself, what I thought was possible, and what I was capable of. I'm so grateful to Professor Blanco because he gave me the green light to pursue my passion. He almost gave me like a permission to grow and develop at writing. Looking back at those influential figures in my life, I realized that when you see people as they are, you only make them look worse. But when you see people as they could be, you help them become all and even more than they could be. My Ukrainian teacher saw me as I was. And fair enough, I wasn't very good at writing in the beginning, even in my native language. You know, when you try something for the first time, I don't care how brilliant you are, you're not going to be very good. But she made me look worse, and I felt frustrated. But Professor Blanca, my American professor, saw me as I could be. He saw that bigger picture for me. He saw that potential in me. And he helped me become more than I could be. Now, I'm a published author. I recently have written and published my first book, Create the Life You Dream About. And writing is one of the main activities in my business and in my life. That's the lesson that I realized, that you need to surround yourself with people who lift you up, not tear you down. Who build your confidence, not destroy it. Who inspire you to grow and develop, not point at your mistakes and failures.